Coco Gauff makes history. New Orleans East tennis courts get revamped. U.S. Open Legacy Initiative celebration. New Orleans East had seen countless transformations through the years. Storms, rebuilding, migration, new communities rising from old stories. But nothing prepared the city for the day the dust settled on a construction site and revealed a sight that made thousands stop in their tracks. Brand new tennis courts. Fresh paint. State-of-the-art lighting. Rebuilt bleachers. A polished community stage. And a glowing plaque that read, "This renovation is part of the Coco Gauff U.S. Open Legacy Initiative." For many people, it was the first time they realized that Coco Gauff's U.S. Open victory, already historic, was no longer just a personal milestone. She had turned it into a movement, a commitment to rebuild youth sports infrastructure across the country, starting with communities that needed it most. And on this warm New Orleans morning, the celebration of that initiative had brought together families, legends, musicians, media, and, most importantly, the young athletes who would soon call these courts home, a promise beyond a trophy. When Coco Gauff lifted the U.S. Open trophy, the world saw a rising tennis legend. But Coco saw something else, something she couldn't shake. Kids deserve opportunities, real opportunities, she had told reporters. Especially kids in underserved neighborhoods. If tennis can change my life, why can't it change theirs too? Her pledge wasn't a PR stunt. It wasn't a branding strategy. It was a vow rooted in her own upbringing, memories of cracked courts, long drives to find training facilities, and moments where it was community support, not resources, that carried her forward. After winning the U.S. Open and earning $3 million in prize money, Coco didn't hesitate. She launched the U.S. Open Legacy Initiative, a national project dedicated to revitalizing tennis courts in cities where youth programs were underfunded or non-existent. New Orleans East topped the list. Why? Because years earlier, during a hurricane relief charity event, Coco had met a group of young players from the area. Their courts had been damaged for years. No proper nets, no lights, uneven surfaces. Yet they still showed up every single day. Their dedication stuck with her. She made a promise silently then, "One day I'll help." Now, that promise was becoming history. The day the courts came back to life. The renovation took months. Months of heavy equipment, community meetings, artists sketching murals, city officials planning events, and Coco's team ensuring every detail met her vision. 8 resurfaced courts, a youth training building, a community clubhouse, ADA-compliant pathways, LED lighting for night matches, outdoor hydration stations, a multi-sport practice space, a vibrant mural of Coco and local athletes. For residents, the transformation felt unbelievable. For years, the court sat broken, another reminder of the post-storm struggles, lost funding and shifting priorities. But now, the courts gleamed under the sunlight as if saying, "We're back," and stronger than ever. The community buzzed with excitement. Kids dragged their parents to the fences, trying to peek in. Elderly residents recalled playing there decades ago. Coaches prepared new drills and new dreams. And when the announcement came, Coco Gauff will attend the grand reopening celebration. New Orleans East felt electrified. The celebration begins. The celebration morning was alive with energy. Vendors lined the sidewalk selling beignets, snowballs, and colorful flags. Brass bands warmed up their instruments. The mayor arrived early, shaking hands and greeting families. Local artists showcased paintings of tennis players, some abstract, some portraits, some bursting with color and emotion. The courts themselves became the heart of the festival. Kids bounced tennis balls against the walls. Teenagers challenged each other to mini matches. Coaches tested the new surfaces with wide smiles. Everyone was waiting for one person. And then, at exactly 11:03 a.m., a white SUV pulled up. The applause began even before the door opened. Coco stepped out wearing a simple white dress, her hair pulled back, her smile wide but humbled by the reception. Children screamed her name. Parents cheered. Flags waved. The brass band broke into a celebratory tune. Coco laughed, touched her chest, and waved as cameras flashed all around her. "This is unbelievable," she whispered to her mother, who walked beside her. Candy Gauff's eyes glistened. Baby, they love you, and they're proud. Coco's emotional speech. On the main stage, Coco took the microphone as the crowd quieted. She scanned the faces before her. Kids with rackets that were too big, young girls with braids and dreams, parents holding infants, community leaders standing tall, residents who had survived storms both literal and personal. Her voice trembled slightly at first. "I'm honored to be here," she began. "When I won the U.S. Open, I knew I wanted to do something meaningful with that moment, something that wasn't just for me." She paused, swallowed. "I want kids from every background to know that greatness isn't about where you're born. It's about what you're given the chance to become." The crowd erupted. She continued, "These courts, they're not just courts. They're open doors. They're invitations to dream. They're proof that every single kid here matters." Candy wiped a tear. The mayor nodded. The cameras captured every second. "And today," Coco said with a smile, "these courts belong to you. Use them, protect them, grow with them. And one day, maybe one of you will stand on the Olympic podium or win a Grand Slam and remember where it started." Kids screamed with excitement. Some held up homemade signs. "Future champion, thank you, Coco. New Orleans loves you." Coco touched her heart, overwhelmed. The first serve, after the ribbon cutting. Coco stepped onto court one with a group of local kids. The air buzzed with anticipation. One little girl, maybe 8 years old, walked up shyly. "Miss Coco, can I hit the first ball with you?" she whispered. A legacy set in stone. As sunset bathed the courts in gold and pink light, Coco walked alone to the edge of the property. She looked around, the painted lines, the glowing lights, the echo of laughter, the spark of renewed pride. Her mother joined her quietly. "You know," Candy said, "one day, someone will tell their grandchildren that these courts changed their life." Coco inhaled deeply. "That's the goal. Your legacy isn't the trophy," her mother said. "It's this." Coco looked at the plaque again. U.S. Open Legacy Initiative. Coco Gauff. A legacy that no storm could wash away. A legacy rooted not in wealth or fame, but in giving back. Epilogue, what this moment means. For New Orleans East, the renovated courts became more than just sports facilities. They became a symbol of rebirth, a promise kept, a spark of hope, a gathering place for families, a training ground for future champions, a reminder that greatness grows everywhere, even from cracked asphalt. Coco Gauff didn't just make history by winning the U.S. Open. She made history by making sure others had the chance to chase their own beginnings. And on that unforgettable day, beneath the New Orleans sunset, as music played and children filled the courts with energy and joy, Coco Gauff's legacy began to shine brighter than any trophy could. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.